School leaders are so-called sensitive locations in the state.
This is not about dollars and cents. This is about morality.
Governor Newsom says the proposed rule has been in the works for 2 years.
3,200 foot setbacks in this proposal are the most aggressive in the United States.
A 15-member public health expert panel found that when oil and gas developments are within a half-mile of communities, there is a strong connection to higher rates of asthma, heart disease, and other impacts.
Anti-oil drilling resolution I'm Larry Mandel, and I'm Rob Mandel, and we're still all obviously weathering the pandemic. What are you doing during these times? Are you doing anything?
Sacramento and Washington know
Pretty much
that they do
at
not
home,
want
working
oil
from home,
drilling.
virtual
It's
office.
responsible for the environment and it can devastate the coastal economy.
He says the Laguna Beach resolution was passed this week as one of the strongest in the state because it calls for a ban on new and existing drilling. Records show the Coast Guard was told of a possible fuel spill off the coast of Huntington Beach earlier than previously reported. An internal sheriff's department memo shows the Coast Guard got reports of a possible spill at around 5:30 in the afternoon, October 1st, and asked local authorities to investigate. The sheriff's department sent out a boat, but it got dark and then they had to stop searching. The Coast Guard had said the first boat search happened the morning of October 2nd. L.A. City Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas has pleaded not guilty to a 20-count federal indictment.
Ridley Thomas appeared by video from his attorney's conference room. He stood silent and showed no emotion. A judge ordered Ridley Thomas yesterday to sign a $50,000 unsecured bond. Prosecutors wanted $100,000. Ridley Thomas's attorney ran down a list of his client's accomplishments and said Ridley Thomas was a powerful politician with deep ties to the community. Prosecutors argued Ridley Thomas got too comfortable with that power and deceived the public and covered up his crimes. Ridley Thomas's trial is scheduled for December 14th. At federal court in downtown L.A., Steve Gregory, Kfi News.
Ridley Thomas has been suspended from all council-related duties. The council voted on the motion yesterday.
For the record, that will be 11 ayes and 3 noes. This item is adopted forthwith.
Ridley Thomas did not appear at the special meeting. Council members Price, Dawson, and Bonin voted against the motion, and they argued the federal indictment was one-sided and had no merit. Members of the House have begun voting on a resolution to hold Trump ally Steve Bannon in contempt of Congress for ignoring a subpoena to appear before the January 6th committee. Florida Democrat Stephanie Murphy says the committee needs to hear from Bannon.
We cannot let any individual impede our inquiry. We will not tolerate Mr. Bannon's evasion.
Indiana Republican Jim Banks says Bannon is a private citizen who planned a legal rally.
Is the committee considering laws to limit Americans' right to political protest?
Other Republicans say the committee should look into why the Capitol was left unprotected on January 6th. Texas has urged the Supreme Court to leave the state's new abortion law alone. The Biden administration wants the High Court to block the law and rule conclusively this term on its constitutionality. Surgeons in New York have temporarily transplanted a genetically altered pig kidney into a person.
It functioned really well and it didn't reject. And that is a really important finding, to move this into living humans.
Surgeons attached the pig's kidney to blood vessels outside the person's body so they could observe it for 2 days.
What we need is a sustainable, renewable source of organs. And that's what xenotransplantation would provide.
That was Dr. Robert Montgomery. About 100,000 Americans are waiting for organs, with 90% waiting for kidneys. There's a crash on the 57 in Diamond Bar.
57 northbound side approaching the 60, where the third lane from the left is blocked. Things are pretty back up there coming away from Pathfinder. As we're getting into Culver City, southbound 405, right at Venice Boulevard, still got this crash in the carpool and left lane, so you're going to see it back up there coming away from just about Sunset. Northbound side slows down as well as you're heading away from about Manchester, getting out of Inglewood. Southbound 101, high ways continue out of the valley from Winnetka to the 134, then heavy again coming away from Santa Monica Boulevard over to the 110 freeway. As you're heading through Santa Ana, northbound 55 in between Dyer and Edinger, Caltrain's working in the carpool lane, so you're going to see delays there from the 405. And getting into Riverside, 91 freeway eastbound side approaching Tyler, looks like a crash here just cleared some lanes, but it's going to be pretty slow overall back at the 15. KFI and the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jay Wood.
You've got some hose in that house.
A couple hoses. There's a supply line to the washing machine. You got one for the dishwasher.
And you know what happens sometimes to the hose in your house?
Burst.
Boom! Pipe burst in your house, dishwasher, washing machine, break, water everywhere. don't do anything until you call Abner Gatt.
Call Abner Gatt ASAP. Now, these insurance companies are just looking out for the insurance companies.
Abner Gatt is looking out for you.
Right.
Abner Gatt is a public insurance adjuster who is on your side.
And you could try to negotiate with the insurance company, but if you've done that, you know that is like banging your head against a giant brick wall.
Oh, God, they're miserable little people, aren't they? Abner Gatt negotiates on your behalf to make sure you are getting the best possible outcome, not the insurance company.
He and his team have been dealing with insurance companies for years. In fact, that's all Abner Gatt and his team do. They've got the experience and the industry know-how that you need on your side.
No one messes around with Abner Gatt and his team. Give him a call, 818-917-5256.
818-917-5256 or abnergatt.com. ABNERGAT. abnergatt.com. 818-917-5256.
Zero-Res cleans carpet without crunchy residue. Only Zero-Res electrolyzes water to create a powerful alkaline cleaning solution that's so pure you can drink it. Softer, healthier, fluffier carpets without residue, so they stay cleaner longer. You've got to love it, we guarantee. Fast drying, no recurring stains, and now more affordable than ever. 3 areas carpet or 2 areas tile for only $159. Go to ZeroSocal.com, that's ZeroSocal.com. Go to ZeroSocal.com, that's ZeroSocal.com.
The KFI Financial Report brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow finished down 6 points. S&P up 14, NASDAQ up 94. The average price per gallon of regular gasoline in California, $4.53.
Bay Alarm is celebrating 75 years of innovation and personal service that's second to none.
Southland weather from KFI. Partly cloudy out there with highs near 70 along the coast, low 70s in Metro LA and Inland OC, around 80 in the valleys and IE. A chance for rain moving in by Sunday. Right now, 76 in Yorba Linda, 69 in Costa Mesa, 78 in West Covina, 80 in Riverside. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Layla Mohammed. Gary and Shannon. KFI Am 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Hey, join us a week from tomorrow. We will be out in Orange at the BJ's for our latest news and brews. Yes, it is close to Halloween, which means please dress up. Yes, please dress up. We're going to be dressed up. We're going to be wearing our Halloween costumes.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, what's wrong? Why the long face?
Is it going to be hot inside? Because that could be it. You gotta work out the temperature.
It'll be nice. It's usually nice in there. Just no matter what time of year, they keep it about, probably 72. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
Because mine includes
Just sweat. Just sweat.
Okay, great. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Just encase yourself in sweat.
You sit next to me for 4 hours while I'm just secreting.
It'll be like a football game in September in Miami.
Tonight there is another Dodgers game. This will be game 5.
Will it be a game?
Dodgers lost to the Braves again last night, 9-2. Justin Turner suffered a grade 2 hamstring strain, so he's out. He's out until spring training.
Yeah.
So that may be sort of the nail in the coffin for them. And the Braves just look unbelievable. They do not look like an 88-win team. They look like the team that won 106 games.
Well, we told you yesterday that the FBI confirmed that it had found Brian Laundrie's backpack and notebook as part of this nature preserve where they were searching for this guy after his fiancée was found dead in Wyoming. And they found some human remains next to the items. Alex Stone joins us with the very latest, and conspiracy theories abound today, Alex.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there of what was the family doing there, why weren't they around police when they made the initial discovery, but a lot of this coming down the timeline that we're getting now from their family attorney, but rolling back a little bit, the coroner in the area is telling us it's going to be a couple of days before they have a positive ID on the remains. That sounds like the remains were not in great shape, and they've got to do some serious work on them. So he's saying they need a little bit of time. The FBI's evidence response team still on site today. They're trying to document everything, make sure there's nothing else out there, how everything was found, where it was. And one of the sheriffs, multiple counties are there, one of the sheriffs was out today, and he says this is really rough. That you have to realize it's not just a park that you walk into and there's a trail and, trees and that sort of thing. It is swampland. It has been covered in water. That it's not an easy area to go into. Here's what he's saying.
I mean, you're searching in areas that you just can't walk up and look. It's not like you're searching a house.
And so now we get into how the whole thing unfolded, and Stephen Bertolino is the family attorney. He went on CNN last night and went into depth telling their side of what went on, and he says that the Laundrie parents told them that they were going to head out to the park adjacent to the wildlife reserve. It had just opened up to the public. The water had come down, and they told their attorney, hey, look, we're going to go out there. They're not really searching it anymore. We think he's out there, so we want to look. And the attorney was the one to let police know that they were going to go out, and he was the one to give them the heads up. That then they trailed the parents as the parents went out. Here's what he told CNN.
And I thought it would be wise to notify law enforcement of their intentions. I did so by text to my contact in the Norfolk Police Department.
So police trailed the parents, he said, and then Laundrie's dad zigzagged off the trail, and while out of view of police, he found his son's dry bag, a waterproof bag, that he couldn't find any police around there, that they were way back and looking at another area, and then he picked it up, didn't leave it there. He picked it up without police seeing because he's saying that there was a reporter nearby and a camera crew watching, and he didn't want the reporter to tamper with it, to touch it, or to see it, and so he picked it up to bring it to police. Here's how they describe it.
The dry bag was a white bag, was laying in the woods, I'll say 20 feet or so off the trail. According to Chris, it was in some bramble. Chris didn't want to pick the bag up because he wanted the law enforcement to see it. Chris couldn't find the law enforcement because they were then out of sight because Chris had been in the woods.
So instead of chancing the reporter picking it up or seeing it, he says that Chris Laundrie picked up the bag, brought it to police, found the police who were in the woods with him. Police said, oh yeah, we have found a notebook and some other things, and we found human remains that might be your son, and that's kind of how the whole thing unfolded. The other thing that he was asked about on CNN is why the heck have these parents been so unwilling to help out, initially to find Gabby, to help police find Brian, to get any information. Bertolino says, hey, blame me. It's my job to tell them not to talk. I told them, don't say anything. Don't be willing to go out there and do anything.
The family was following my directions. I told them not to talk to anybody, not to say a word. I was the intermediary between family and law enforcement.
Yeah, he says everybody talks about their First Amendment and Second Amendment rights, but he says you don't talk about all the other rights all the time, of self-incrimination and everything else. So he said, look, I told them do not make any comments. Don't go out there and do anything for the police. He says, it's all on me. So, the whole part about, and there's been questions for quite a while now. Why are they helping out? He says he's to blame for that.
I could understand when Brian Laundrie first returned home, right? And them hiring an attorney and him not speaking. Brian Laundrie not speaking because he's implicated, right? He's implicated, obviously, in his fiance's murder. But once he goes missing...
Allegedly.
Allegedly, sure. You have to say that. I don't.
But it could still be alive.
He could still be alive. And so I can understand them shutting down Brian Laundrie talking to anybody. But what about the parents? How would the parents incriminate themselves if they had nothing to do with Gabby?
If they didn't really know anything.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. Now, the attorney claims they didn't know anything, that Brian came home, that Brian didn't tell them anything, that they went camping. Remember, we found out that he had gone with them and that they had camped for a couple of days. Then they went home, then he went hiking, and then he never came back. And he claims that's all they knew, but they were unwilling. And remember early on, the Petito family saying, she lived with you, she was going to be a part of your family, and you're not going to do anything to try to help or give any indication of where she may be. That he's saying, that was all me. I told them, just be quiet and let police do their thing. Still, though, this is an area that police say dogs were running through, that yes, there was water where the human remains were found, that the water then came down. But this is an area where dogs had been sniffing, humans had been in there, they had been in there with their high water vehicles, and they hadn't seen anything. And maybe it was just the water covering everything, but there's still those questions about he went off on his own. found something and oops, picked it up and brought it to police, although they did find, police found the other items and the human remains. It's very odd how the whole thing came to an end.
Yes, it's very bizarre. And, you wonder if Dad wanted to put his fingerprints on that bag because they were already, on that bag.
And maybe it's completely innocent. That there was a reporter standing there, and he thought, I don't know what reporter, now granted, it may have been from place where maybe they would, but I don't know what reporter would pick up evidence in a case and look at it.
I don't know. That when I saw scenes from that preserve, there were a lot of, and I'm using air quotes right now, reporters that are not, Alex Stone, ABC News. It's a reporter from realworldnews.com.
On every story we go and cover, who they are media, quote unquote, or reporters, quote unquote. So, maybe that's what it was, that he was really worried about this sleaze bag who was standing there, and he walked away from it. This person would go in and pick it up. Or maybe it was a credible journalist who he had no reason to worry, but his attorney claims that he was worried about the reporter standing there, and he picked up the evidence and walked off.
It's so bizarre. It's like my fascination with this may have started with a pretty young girl going missing, but it has definitely moved to what's going on with these parents.
Yeah.
Alex.
The park reopens and they say, hey, let's go check this out. Oh, look what we found.
Not doing anything on a Wednesday morning. Might as well go find some human remains. Alex, we appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks,
Alex Stone there at the latest. Coming back.
Tech Talk. We'll be talking about Facebook changing its name and some smart speaker tips.
And $1,000 to give away. We'll tell you how you can win it.
How can I get her to mind her own business?
Layla Muhammad has an update on the news.
The House is voting on whether to hold former Trump advisor Steve Bannon in contempt of Congress for defying a subpoena related to the January 6th investigation on the attack on the Capitol. The 2-month-old wildfire that threatened the Lake Tahoe resort region over the summer has been declared 100% surrounded. Authorities say there will be smoldering within the fire zone long into the winter. And the leader of the gang in Haiti that police say kidnapped 17 members of a missionary group is seen in a new video saying he will kill them if he doesn't get what he is demanding. We're checking out a problem with 10 next. You want out of that house? Maybe you're moving, downsizing. Maybe you inherited the place and you're thinking about all the hours of cleaning, painting, repairing, staging, getting a realtor, all of it.
DirectBuyers.com lets you avoid all of that. You can get a fair price for your house with no hassle, no third parties, and no one ever has to walk through your house.
DirectBuyers.com is not a faceless corporation. This is a family-owned business that's been local here in Southern California since 1986. We know the owners, Janet and Matt, and they truly have made service the most important part of their business.
DirectBuyers.com, Janet and Matt, they can buy your house with no contingency, no inspection, no appraisal, no commission, no fees, and they'll give you a fair price, and they will do it fast, usually within 10 days.
To know how invested they are as well, you can talk to them. You can ask for Janet and Matt. They can also give you a $15,000 cash advance prior to closing.
Do not sell your home until you talk to DirectBuyers.com. See what they can offer you. They'll give you an honest, no obligation offer, and they will not lowball you.
Go to directbuyers.com. That's directbuyers.com. 844-242-SELL. 844-242-SELL. Directbuyers.com. A crash on the 10 Mid-City.
Eastbound side of the 10 freeway approaching Western. Looks like they're starting to move this to the right shoulder, but overall it's going to be a slow ride from La Cienega and stays kind of sluggish out to the 5 into Boyle Heights. Southbound side of the 405 at Venice Boulevard. Still got a wreck here in the carpool in left lane, so things are backing up there overall from Getty Center, while the northbound side slows down just beyond Century. Heading into Santa Ana, northbound side of the 55 freeway in between Dyer and Edinger. Caltrans working there in the carpool lane until about 2, and things right now are slowing down coming away from the 405. And in Diamond Bar, northbound 57 freeway at the 68 crash here moved to the shoulder, but that's still pretty heavy from Pathfinder. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jay Owen.
If you thought you missed the lowest mortgage rates in history, you're in luck, because they're back. Mortgage rates are near historic lows again. So if you have a mortgage, refinance it and forget it. You'll never have to worry about refinancing again. Network Capital Funding is offering a low 15-year fixed rate at 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Incredible! Network Capital has built a reputation for saving people time and money with our unique process that's fast, simple, and secure. Our 15-year fixed rate is 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Now, second chances don't come often, and you may never see these rates again. So refinance it and forget it. That's a 15-year fixed at 1.75%. Yes, 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Call the experts at Network Capital now. Call 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1-HIT. As in home run. Call now and save big on your refi. 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1448. NMLS ID 11712. Not licensed in all states. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Licensed by the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the Financing Law. Number 603D787. An equal opportunity lender. Rates subject to change and may not be available on rate law. Discount points may apply. Subject to credit approval. Call 800-500-1448 for additional cost information.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiment. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Don't miss a worldwide phenomenon. Mamma Mia. Funny story, dazzling dance numbers, infectious music from ABBA. Mamma Mia, October 29th through November 21st. Tickets at LaMaradaTheater.com.
Have you still not refinanced your mortgage? Well, soon you might miss out on these once-in-a-lifetime rates. So take advantage of our new Fast Track loan with an unbelievable low rate of 2.25 rate and APR with no closing costs on a 15-year fixed loan. That's right, no points, no fees. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Lennox Financial, a trusted lender for over 20 years. Even if you've refinanced in the last year, we still probably save you money. Whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we can do them all with no closing costs. This amazing 2.25 rate and APR won't last long, and our new Fast Track loan process can get it done in record time. So call today, 844-425-3669. That's 844-425-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind.
Licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender. Visit us at LennoxHomeLoans.com or call for additional cost information. Other restrictions apply. Rates subject
Good Rising. The Good Rising podcast is a collection of 6 mini-shows curated to give you a daily shot of inspiration, motivation, humor, relationship advice, and even astrology. You can choose to listen to one or all of the daily Good Risings offerings available on our feed. It's the perfect daily practice for anyone looking to lead a more intentional, mindful, and inspired life. Listen to the Good Risings podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, it's Ray Walsh with another relationship hack. Start every evening by saying something positive to your significant other. It's called priming, influencing your partner's mindset when they finish work and enter the psychological compartment of couple life. Instead of complaining about your day, always begin with some good news or a compliment and deliver it with a smile. You'll be amazed that when you start to come home to
Dr. Wendy Walsh.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulated at heart.
Gary and Shannon, KFI Am 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app with your chance at $1,000.
KFI has your chance to win $1,000.
Text the nationwide keyword
Dollar. D-O-L-L-A-R.
That's 200.
You'll get a confirmation text and info.
Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest.
That's dollar to 200.
If you win a positive, it's got to answer the phone to pick up $1,000. Another chance coming up first hour of the John and Ken Show. In fact, all the way through 7:20 at night, we're giving away $1,000 an hour here on Ken.
Mark Kaufman is joining us now as we talk some tech.
Where's the theme song?
I don't know. It's coming anyway.
I'm like, how anticlimactic.
There we go. Here's Tech Talk.
Shannon likes to do
I do. I picture the little robot man marching.
I'll give you one guess as to what Facebook is going to change its name to, its company name.
Twitter.
with three tweets.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think they're going to name them?
I don't know. I feel like Google,
Dr.
the alphabet, and nobody refers to them as alphabet.
Yeah, I know, right? Exploit book.
Hot or not?
Or not.
Yeah, well, the company hasn't confirmed or denied that they're going to rebrand, but yeah, The Verge published a piece yesterday that said they are going to announce it on